Today I'd like to show you how to use a break-even formula to calculate profit scenarios within your business. And what we'll do is we'll assume that your business profit and loss statement looks like this, and that you've maybe generated $1,000 worth of sales, 60% gross profit percentage, and an operating profit of $100. So the first thing that we need to do is use those numbers to calculate your break-even point, which is fairly straightforward because your break-even point is your overheads, and I'm just using a different colour pen here so we don't make it too busy, divided by 60%, which of course is your GP percentage, which is equal to 500 divided by 60%, which is equal to $833. So that's a starting point for the other three scenarios. We now established the break-even point for your business, assuming this cost structure, this cost and revenue structure. The next scenario is we're unhappy, or you're unhappy, with making $100 profit, and you want to double it. You'd actually like to make $200 profit, but you're unsure as to how many sales you'd have to make in order to achieve that. Well, we can calculate that by taking your overhead plus your profit target and dividing that by your GP percentage. So your overhead 500 plus your profit target is 200 is 700. We know your gross profit percentage 60%, and that's going to be $1,166. And that's quite interesting, because what we've done is we've increased our operating profit by 100%, $100 to $200, but we've only had to increase our sales by 16% or 17% rounded up. And that's called financial leverage, and I've discussed that in another video. The next scenario is trying to understand what the level of sales we need to generate in order to cover an additional cost. So let's assume, for example, that you have the opportunity of moving into a better business premises, but that's going to cost an extra $100 in rental. You're asking yourself, how many additional sales would I need to make in order to generate enough profit to cover that additional rent? That's straightforward. What we have here is your additional cost, and we divide that again by your GP percentage. So that's $100 divided by 60%, which is equal to $166. So if you believe that by moving to that new business premises, you can generate more than $166 in additional sales, you should probably be thinking about doing it. And the final scenario here is, what would our break-even point be at a different gross profit percentage? Well, clearly, we're going to use that formula there. But in this scenario, let's assume you're thinking of increasing your sales price by 10%. So let's recalculate your GP percentage. Your sales will now be 10% on that is 1,100. Your cost of sales would still be the same, $400, but your GP would now be $700. And if we calculate that as a percentage, gross profit divided by sales, we actually have 64%. So what would the break-even point be under the different structure for this trading statement up here? Again, it's your overheads divided by your GP, which is 500, we'll assume your overheads haven't changed, divided by 64%, which equals $781. So we can see the break-even point has actually dropped from 833 to 781 because we've increased our margins up there. The final thing I'd like to say about each of those calculations is that you can combine them so that you can generate more complex scenarios about profitability of your business. You can see they're all very, very similar, and they use the gross profit percentage in all of them. So what I suggest you do is make sure you understand these formula there, grab your own profit and loss statement, then start applying those formulas to it and start working on opportunities or identifying opportunities to increase